Everybody's Kevin with Adams Home Inspections, and we are looking at a new build construction. It's in the framing stage. There's no electrical or anything run yet, but there were some problems with the framing, and so they wanted us to come out and do an inspection before they went any further. Now, one of the things we're going to look at right away is an LVL beam. Now, that's a laminated beam. Generally, it's made out of multiple pieces of wood. You can see this is an LVL right here, and they're engineered. There's a lot of layers to them, and actually here's 3 of them that are put together for this span. If you look really hard, hopefully you can see it. I'm gonna move the camera around, but you can see daylight between some of those. And the problem there is that, you know, I would glue those together and nail them so that they became one big old heavy duty beam. That's one thing. But then look at the end wall, right over here. There's nothing carrying the load of that beam. That beam should have a post underneath it. And that post could be tripled 2x4s, whatever, but this is sitting on a wall. It is an exterior wall, so it is on top of the foundation, so the load would be transferred to the correct spot, but it's definitely not posted. And then at the other end of that laminated beam, we go on this end of it, and we notice it's sitting on the interior wall. Cannot verify that there's a footing underneath this. I mean, this beam's load should be transferred all the way to a footing, not just a slab, but it should be on a foundation. Slab and foundation are not the same. And so there's no way to, it does not appear that there's a separate pour. Normally, if you had a foundation pour, there would be a separate pour from the slab. Now, it could be there could be a deep cavity there, but this beam is riding on, partially on a header. There's no jack stud, no post. That's just not going to support the load. It's not designed for that. And then additionally, all these ceiling joists tying into the beam, there is not any brackets. There's no joist hangers. There are multiple nailed. You can even see some of them are already splitting from nailing, because when you drive a nail through any piece of wood at near the end of the wood, it's going to split. So that's not good either. Also, it's supposed to be a structurally designed attic for storage. They got 8s for wrapped ceiling joists on this side, and they got 6s for ceiling joists on this side. Why they would do that, unknown. If we look around at the anchor bolts, let's just have fun with that for a minute. First of all, none of the anchors have washers or bolts on them. You can see that one right there is totally unprotected, or not fastened. It should be anchor bolts within 12 inches of the end of the plate. There's not one on this plate at all. There's definitely some concrete nails, but that's not going to do anything. There's one there, but this plate doesn't even have one on the end. So their anchor bolts are just randomly placed, poorly placed, and some of them, and none of them have any fasteners. So, you know, building a structure and a windstorm comes up, this thing starts racking. You could rip the whole walls off the sides. I mean, there's just no reason for it to be not attached, okay, at this point. Furthermore, we keep moving along. We've got another LVL right here, short LVL. And, you know, people might argue that it's not that big of a load right there, but it's bearing on a header, which is not designed, you know, that's not appropriate. Definitely not appropriate for an interior header with no jack studs. I mean, this LVL is going to put pressure on both those in a way that could crack a window, make a door not work properly. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. We've got some truss rafters installed in areas. These guys right here, these are engineered trusses. They are a rafter truss, but they've been cut off. You can see the web piece is really short. No, they wouldn't design it like that. That's an altered truss, and an engineer has to approve an altered truss. You can see the one right next to it has the web section in it. That's the bearing point. And then you look at the next one and it's been cut off. So they've altered trusses. More stuff like that, plenty of stuff to see. We've got another little LVL here with no brackets, end nailed into another block of an LVL. That's unusual. Should be a bracket there, should be brackets on each one of those trusses. Just over and over. You see the same thing. Here's a damaged truss right here. Somebody damaged the nailing plate. You know, there's all kinds of issues along those lines. But this is a new construction, folks, and this is not a cheap house. This is a a nice big house on a really nice big lot. So keep your eyes open. Get an inspection. Even if you're hiring a contractor, you can still get a framing inspection. You can still get a pre-drywall inspection. And now's a good time to catch it. Thankfully, they're not completely done, so they've got a little time to clean up and fix the problem, but list goes on and on. Get an inspection, folks. Thanks for checking us out. Have a great day.